Hey, it's Gary with Natural Instinct Dog Training, and I want to talk a little bit about something that I talk to a lot of my clients about, and that's understanding our dog's perspective of things. You know, the way the way we see and perceive things isn't always the way they do. It's not that they're dogs or that they're a pack animal or anything like that that really matters in us building a stronger relationship with them. Because to build a good relationship with any other being, the more we can understand the way they see things, the easier it is for us to connect with them. So a lot of our perceptions, you could say, in our society or in our culture, a lot different to our dogs than what we would think. You know, something as simple as people walking by your house. You know, the less somebody's throwing rocks at our cars or our house, who really cares? But the dogs see and hear something outside and they might bark. They're gonna bark, 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 bark until whatever it was is out of sight, and our dogs turn around and go, yes, because they think they made it go away. But the next time they hear a noise, what do you think they're gonna do? As far as they're convinced, even though we know the person who lives down the street that walks their little fluffy dog by every day at 3 o'clock, we know they live right down the street. We know that's where they're going. The dogs don't understand those things. So something as simple as them barking, the people going away, the dog feels like that they were successful. They're not dumb from a perspective of cause and effect. It really worked. So of course they're going to do it next time, but it also creates a lot of anxiety because they can start feeling like they need to do those things. And even something as simple as inside and outside. You know, I jokingly will say to people, you know, what do you think a dog thinks outside is? And a lot of times they'll say, well, I think it's fun, or they think it's this, or they think it's that. We understand the concept of our house, our home, and even for myself right now, my RV. And we understand that is our domain, that's where we live, so on and so forth. But to a dog, outside of that room that is our house is this different room that the humans call outside. But that room that they go into, sometimes it's not the same. You know, sometimes things change. Imagine if you had a room in your house, it was like that movie Narnia, where they went into the little closet and it was a whole other world out there. How would you act if there was that big, huge open space through your closet? You know, to us, that's a magical type thing. But to our dogs, what do you think it's like to them? Now, if they spend a lot of time in that room, going on walks, experiencing the world, then they have an understanding of the way it works. If we don't get our dogs into that outside room very often, they're going to act a lot like we would act. We'd open that door in the little closet and we peek in there into this whole other universe, and there's things moving around and it's kind of unpredictable, but it's just unpredictable to them because they're not used to it as much. So different things we see with our dogs that we think we understand, sometimes taking a little step back can really help. You know, I work with a lot of people that have dogs from rescues and shelters, and, you know, the rescues, the shelters might pair the dogs up with other dogs and they might do good. Or I'll meet people that have multiple dogs and those dogs get along, but then they don't get along with strange dogs, or they get along with other dogs outside of their house, but not inside of their house. And to us, we feel like, well, this is simple. You know, my dog's used to other dogs, or the shelter dog tested and they had the dogs together in a different kennel. So why wouldn't they get along with another dog inside my house or at a friend's house or whatever? But imagine, you know, you have your partner that you sleep with every night, And if you walked into your room and there was somebody else in your bed, you would be like, oh my God, what are you doing in my bed? But honestly, as a human, what's wrong with you? Do you not like people? I mean, you sleep with a human every night. From our dog's perspective, they do see things in ways like we do. It's more us not understanding the differences between the way we see things culturally. If we have grandma come over to visit and we don't understand why the dogs act weird. Well, if you knew grandma was coming and, you might tell the dogs, grandma's coming and she's going to be here for a week, we think rationally in our minds that the dogs would understand that. But if you just opened your door and grandma was standing there, you might be shocked, you might be surprised. The more we can separate ourselves from the way we communicate and so many of the things that we understand about our culture and the way things work in our culture, the more we can actually understand things from our dog's perspective. Many times it's said that dogs, you could say, act more like a survivalist, like someone living in the zombie apocalypse. It's not that they think the world's always coming to an end, but they do want to feel safe. They do want to feel stable. They don't know they can call the police department or the fire department for safety and security. They only know what they experience inside of their home and with the immediate members of their family, the things or the beings that they interact with. Now, even something as simple as a car ride. A lot of times people will have trouble with their dogs acting different ways in the car. A car to a dog is like a magical teleportation device. You plop them inside of this thing and stuff goes by really quickly. And then we open the door and they're in a completely new reality. Taking those kind of things into consideration can really help us understand our dogs. And going back to a lot of the other things that I've taught, and if you haven't seen some of my other videos talking about foundations and boundaries, go back and look at some of those. Because in a lot of these instances where our dogs are unsure or they misunderstand something going on in our home, going on outside, those are the times that our dogs need us for support. They need those little boundaries. They need to feel a foundation of stability and security, something that they want to get from us as their caretakers, because it's our responsibility to keep them safe, but it's also our responsibility to make sure that they feel safe. So in understanding more about the way they see things, the better we can understand them, and a lot of times get to different ways of helping them with different behaviors or things they might be doing, we can then perceive it from their perspective and then move forward to help work them through different problems and different things that we're doing. So please like, subscribe, share my videos. The reason why I do these is to help as many people as I can. So share them and help other people. If there's someone that's in need, or if there's a topic that you would like me to do a video on, even if you want to send me little video clips of dog behavior, feel free to do that. Reach right out to me on social media, send me your questions, send me little video clips, and I'll be happy to go over to them whenever I have time. Thank you all very much, and I'm looking forward to making even more content for you moving forward.